the old thing. I mean, in a family, like, it's respect. If you respect your parents and they respect you, it's great. But if they respect you and you don't respect them, it's no good. When Jesus left, he told his followers to leave their families. Why? See, very few people understand what Jesus was really trying to teach. So when people unfold, it's hard to stay in a situation that's not unfolding. I mean, if you're growing spiritually, it's hard to be around people. Oh, I just want to do this, or I just want to do that. Growth is happening around us. You choose to grow or you die. I mean, you shrivel up and die. So you have a choice always. And if something's stagnant and you're in a stagnant place and the energy is draining you, you leave it. A soul group is great if they work together. If you're working at a positive vibration, all pushing on the same direction, it's great. But you can't have 10 people pushing forward while 2 or 3 people pulling the opposite way. It's going to put a hindrance on what they're trying to do. So it's hard to be in a perfect situation on planet Earth. So you always have to be accepting to certain things, but there's always a limit how far you can be pushed. And if it's really stopping your growth, you need to change it. No matter what the situation is, you have to change it. Moving, changing the people you're with, whatever. A soul group can be a soul group as long as they work together. And, I mean, even the angels at one point could no longer work together. And that's why they were cast out of the higher realms to come down to the lower realms. So no matter what level you're at, if you don't work at the same level, you don't get along. Now, what we're going to probably talk about next week is the 9 silent ones, or the spiritual masters in the inner worlds, and their place. And they work together. There's 9, and they work differently. They each have their own viewpoint, but they work together within that. So if you can't work together, it's definitely a bad situation to stay in. And you can't stay in it, well, I'm stuck in a soul group. You're not stuck anywhere, ever. There's always a space to move into when you want to move out of a space you're in. Always. The change is scary. Reality always is scary when you don't know what's going to happen in the next day. But we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. No matter how safe we feel, or millionaires feel safe because they got millions of dollars in the bank. They don't have to worry about paying money or losing money. But the average person has to worry about this week's money, the food, and everything else. So it's a little bit different. But you still can change it if it's not right. I mean, some people that are in countries where they're in the jungle, or they're in the cities where there's nothing, it's hard to move forward because they don't even have help to get out the door. They don't have a way to get out of the city. So there's always a light if you look for it. And if you can follow that light, it'll always direct you and guide you further into the truth, into the awareness that you need. So don't assume or believe that you have to stay in a soul family. If it's a positive thing and everything's positive, you wouldn't even be asking the question. That's for sure. But it's not, because you are asking the question. So there's something negative, something drawing your energy away. So you have to change the situation and make it right. I mean, even if it's only a little bit and it's holding you from growing, it's not beneficial. You should try to change it. I'll leave it at that, all right?
Thank you for your knowledge.
Okay, you're welcome. Pleasure.
Wow.
TJ, you back? TJ? You on mute?
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I apologize. I've got 3 cell phones, folks, so I tend to, this is my favorite one, but for some reason with the weather thundering, it must be lightning too, Tommy. Why does the lightning affect our human-made tools?
Because it's energy. Energy goes through the air. Lightning goes through the air. Everything's based on a field of energy, which is magnetic at some point. So magnetic fields affect each other. And when it's right over your head, it's affecting the magnetic field that you're in with right now.
Well, the weather, because remember, folks, I live in the Panhandle, if you don't know. So this church is based on the fact that we're global. A digital internet working church is timely. But many churches now have their own remote anyway. the one that my daughter and I went to down the street was because some people, I liked Unity, Tommy, when I was in Hawaii, Unity Church. I was introduced. It was more open, didn't judge so much. It was more metaphysical, but there is a Unity, group, like we're administrators and been here 8 years with TJ Morris ET Radio. But the Ascension Center and my books, Janet didn't really want to promote. She thought the Catholic Church took it from me, and the people, my daughter and I, folks, just to tell you, and Tommy will know, I had gotten this logo from God or angels or extraterrestrials. I didn't ask. It's just strange that I got it in Hawaii. It split the tree and lightning came down. But also the name, I didn't know what Ascension was. So to me, it's God sent. So you can think what you want. But I had given my life to God in the Gold Pyramid and not in Hawaii, in Houston. So I guess Texas is a part. If people in the future, thousands of years or millions of years from now, look at the ascended masters and what we did coming and going, at least, Namgal is Buddhist. Tommy, I don't know what you claim, but I tell people I was born white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, but I believed from the old monks and the tarot and how we use it. And a lot of people don't know those stories, so it's in my little Enchanted Development book. You can find it out, too. It's not all evil, like burning witches at the stake and Nostradamus predictions, but we've always had, and I believe God had people that he chose, that we all have gifts, and we all have talents, and we all have skills, and we all use them at different levels. So it's like Tommy said, the energy. So energy flows. Now, what did they say, Tommy? Energy goes where the thoughts flow, or how do they say that? There's a lot of things I wish I'd written down, but energy, it's like water. We're just a small drop of water, but when we get with another group of drops, we become a little pond. So we're not a big lake yet. We're just starting. We've got 8 years into this Ascension Center, but my daughter taught me the word Ohana and family. I didn't learn Ohana so much in Hawaii. I learned Aloha spirit. But Tommy has one that's created Ascension Church Ohana down the street from him. And when I looked it up, I found it, and I couldn't believe it. But my daughter gave her life up for this church, and it's Theresa J Morris Ministries is the way she knew it. But the reason I mentioned the Catholic Church is she and I made a brand and a bond with an A in it from the Metaphysics. She grew up with me doing tarot readings, and we were Mormons, Latter-day Saints in her world. And but all my children, even though they grew up watching me do things, not necessarily the church believed it, but when we learned about America and the Latter-day Saints and the Mormons and became it. I was baptized May 12, 1972. But when we went, Tommy, in my heart, the Masons were so much part of America and the Latter-day Saints and in the churches and the temples that it was just amazing to me. And that's why they grew so big. And then that one Scientology, that came from more of lack of psychiatry and the guy that wrote books. So a lot of these people wrote books, but now it's said that Joseph Smith saw Angel Gabriel, but so did the one that started Muhammad, right? He was very Jewish, and Angel Gabriel, and he started his own religion. A lot of people don't know that there was just one, and Muhammad was later on. But they don't necessarily they believe that Jesus was a man, but I don't think they believe he was that touched by spirit. But, my people like to use as many gifts to guide them, Tommy, and we're called guides. And we're called guides in the area I work in now, in digital world and network and cyberspace. But I guess we'll get together, folks, all of us together, and we're not going to judge each other, and we're aware that the world is in a change, but it's always in change. But we've only got 2 minutes left, Tommy. But, folks, thank y'all for joining us. And, we can help each other. So, Tommy, thank you for helping me and us today. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Oh, good. I heard something beep. a lot of these phones will drop. So, folks, we'll do the best we can. But, Tommy, you want to get into, like, the Ennead 9 and the 9 characters of humanity and, like you said, the higher 9. How did you put it together? Do you call them the 9 gods?
9 inner masters.
The inner masters. Okay.
Higher masters. They call them masters of the... there's a word. I don't know what word to fit it, because different religions use different words for it. That deal with that, or talk about it. The Galactic Confederation talk about the silent ones as well.
Yeah, and the Invisible College, Ennead 9, E-N-N-E-A-D, Ennead 9. And that's also where we got Star Trek from, and Gene Roddenberry followed that. And that's, y'all might know, 1 of 9 or 5 of 9, but they used them even in Star Trek. So I'm sort of a dickhead called Philip K. Dick's wife would come on Test a Dick whenever I wanted to, but she said she even had trouble with her husband's people because she was like 1 of 5 of his wives. But Philip K. Dick was quite a precognitionist, and he wrote stories, and then he was visited by an angel. So there's stories of us that are open to it. So Tommy also put on being open to guides and angels and extraterrestrials. Those are just words. It depends on the person. You may believe in a God or you may not. And then if you do you believe in a cultural God or philosophical, or do you just believe source? So many people don't want to use the word God anymore, but they believe in a source of all things. And I believe in the, Tommy, we need to address AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, and all that. How they help people, but it's basically support and teaching you to believe in something bigger than yourself. I always say, well, I didn't make this planet, and when I left, they sent me back here, whoever they are, if they were angels or extraterrestrials or God, but I heard more than one voice. I heard 2 voices talking to each other when they sent me back, and they granted. I said, I don't care, I want to go back. So we'll talk about life after life, too, Tommy. So I'd always keep it real, but keep it, we'll do our best to answer questions. So it's okay then next week we can also let people call in maybe the last hour like I do. I still do psychic shows on Thursday. All right. Well, tell them doll I appreciate her helping too, because, if she wants to talk once in a while, I like having 2 or more present. They say he is there also. So in a lot of ways we're American, and I guess in a way we're open to God and source. So I don't know, ask her how she wants to deal with that, because we're doing spiritual science and theosophy, but I don't know if she wants to call herself a Buddhist or not. Ask her how to say that to people that in the Ascension Church, Ohana, I'm about the Ascension raising of awareness, church being the people are supporting a support group, Ohana being the family unit, but Hawaii and Florida. It's folks, it'll all come. Love and light, everybody. Okay,
all right,
Tommy,
well, love and light. Okay, sounds good.
All right, bye, people. Bye-bye. We'll be back.